how to actually have an abundant mentality when it comes to dating and women. Now, this is something I haven't always had, believe it or not. A lot of people consider me this kind of guy who just gets loads of girls, which I think has only become increasingly more real as I've aged. I'm 23 now, but when I was 19 and 20, I didn't really, at least as I just didn't see my value. I just didn't realize I was a good looking guy. I just didn't believe it. I just was like, no, this isn't real. And it's not me saying that the only way you build this abundance mindset is having good looks. But what I'm trying to say is just purely my mindset held me back. My mindset shot me in the foot when it didn't need to. It didn't need to be that way. Now, I'm not coming from this kind of place of degeneracy, trying to teach you guys how to get some kind of rotation with women. But I don't think it really matters if you're, whoever you are. Just having this mentality is really just a sign of knowing your worth. That's really what it is. Having an abundance mentality is just knowing that you are good enough to attract a high quality person. And you're going to find in your life that once you develop that understanding, once you've proven to yourself enough times that actually, you know what, like I'm a great guy, and people want to be with you because you have something unique, you have something special, then you're just going to carry yourself in a different kind of way when you're talking to a woman, when you're on a date. You're going to go to the date with more confidence because you know your character is going to shine through and she's going to see who you are, and it's not real. And this is the thing, a lot of guys do all this pickup stuff, trying to learn the tactic, trying to learn how, right, you need to sit back like this, you need to be more masculine, but really none of that stuff really works. I think when you've developed a certain level of substance to who you are and your character, then inevitably she's going to appreciate you, she's going to respect you, and she's going to admire you in a different kind of way. Now, the whole red pill space kind of teaches you how to get low quality women and how to kind of seduce them. Seduce and attract are two different things. When you're seducing someone, you're luring them in, you're using certain strategies to lure them in, and it's somewhat false, it's somewhat not true. It's a tactic, right? Whereas attraction is simply you being who you are, and that drawing someone to you because you are radiating a certain type of energy, and you have certain things that make people drawn to you. Rather than you having to draw them in, they are just simply drawn to you for you being you. And this is this true secret to success when it comes to women. And I'm not just saying this stuff like out of thin air, and I'm not just throwing in some kind of like woo-woo kind of nonsense. Like, I have replicated this again and again and again and again, and it's only been at this age of 23 that I've actually seen it firsthand, that every single date I go on, I'd say at least 95% of dates I've been on, I have the same reaction from women, and it's this appreciation of my character. It's an appreciation of me having my own belief systems, having my own idea of the world, just striving and paving my own path, and not just following the crowd and not just following other people. And I truly believe that is one of the most attractive things you'll ever have, because the thing is, there's guys that have a lot of money, there's guys that have good looks, there's guys that have the external things that they need to draw basic attraction, to draw basic interest, but what they lack is they lack depth of character. They just don't have any substance to them. You know, they haven't really done anything, they haven't really achieved anything, they haven't really left their mark on the world, they haven't really mastered their craft, you know, they haven't really understood and learned who they are, because we all have an individual, we all are individuals. There's an individuation. We all have different passions, right? My passion might be playing the piano, your passion might be playing the guitar, might be playing the drums. Why that is unique to us. That's coded in our DNA. That's just who we are as people. So if you want a woman to appreciate you, you need to tap into yourself first. You need to find out who you truly are. You need to bring forward the best version of yourself. And I think what a lot of guys are trying to do is they're trying to shortcut that process. Okay, they're trying to find the first girl they meet and make them their girlfriend, and they're so fixated on these girls, and they're so fixated on trying to get the girl. And one thing I'll admit, guys, is I'm at a point in my life where I genuinely could be I could exploit my qualities that I've developed in a certain type of way more well, I haven't really exploited them. Like, there's just not, because I've just got my character to a certain point where I don't carry myself in that way. And it's so interesting how things flip on their head. Like, these guys that are like chasing after girls and all they're worried about is girls. It's like, bro, you're concerned about the wrong stuff. You know, what you want to do is, if you want to attract a woman, you've got to go and you've got to chase something. You've got to have a bigger goal. You've got to have a bigger vision for yourself. You've got to have ambition. She wants to come along for the ride. You're making her the final destination. She's not going to want to come along for a journey where she is the final destination. She's going to think that's my worst nightmare. She wants to jump on the train with you and wants to go somewhere that's going to lead to adventure, somewhere that's going to lead to prosperity, somewhere that's going to lead to love, somewhere that's going to lead to wisdom and learning and growth. That's what a woman ultimately wants. And what I want you to differentiate the type of women I'm speaking about, because there's different women. There are women that are more promiscuous sexually. There are women that are just not high quality, and that's just the reality of it. And there are women that are high quality, and I'm assuming if you're watching this video right now, you are striving to find a high quality woman, not just some random girl who's just gonna be your girlfriend. And I've been in this position. Like, I've literally been in the exact shoes where all I wanted was a girlfriend. All I wanted was a girlfriend. I just want to get a girlfriend. Like, that's my ultimate goal. And it's like, oh my God, I finally got one. And I finally can say I've got a girlfriend, and all the social pressures off me. And I no longer have to be this kind of, the one in the family who doesn't have a partner. And it's like, I did all that stuff. And I realized, actually, you know what? No one really cares. And you're much better being patient and finding the right person than jumping into a relationship early that's not right for you. And I think that's massively important. But what I'm trying to say is, your abundance mentality is going to be the key. And by an abundance mentality, from what I've said so far, it really is about just developing who you are as a person. Because what you have to think about it this way, right? Imagine there's, I'll tell you a little story. Watch, right? And it's families have this watch. They've had this watch in their attic for like 5-10 years, and they find it and they give it to one of the family members to take to a jeweler, where the jeweler is going to see how much it's worth, see if it's worth anything. So they take it to the jeweler, and the jeweler says to them, yeah, you know, this is just like a vintage watch, nothing special. It's worth like $50. And he's like, okay, cool. He thinks, okay, well, let's see what the next jeweler thinks it's worth. So he goes to the next jeweler, and the jeweler says it's worth like $40-50. So he's like, oh, okay, cool. Then he goes to the next jeweler, and he wants to ask what the watch is worth. And the jeweler picks up the watch, looks at the watch and goes, excuse me, like, do you understand that this is actually a vintage piece? Like, it's one of a kind. It's priceless. And the point of the story is the fact that those other jewelers only saw the value of the watch for what they perceived it was. They lacked a certain level of understanding to even know what they were looking at. So they just thought it was just any old watch. Whereas somebody who's the right person, who can see your value and actually values it, will think you're priceless. Well, not think, but will see that you are priceless. They'll see that you're priceless. And what a lot of, I think, guys do is they go and chase after women who just see them as these $50 watches. And they don't really care. They don't really respect them. They don't really give a shit about them. And they end up getting their hearts broken. They end up feeling, you know, they're constantly trying to chase for that woman's validation. They're constantly trying to do things to be validated by that woman. They're kind of fighting like the underdog. And I've been there. I've done it. And I've done it. I've been that kind of guy who got rejected. And then I made myself the kind of guy where they're like, oh, actually, I want this guy. And I'm like, nah, I'm good. See you later. But that's only so good, and that can only get you so far. Really, what you're looking for is something deeper, and you're not going to find that dealing with like low quality women. In order to have that abundance mindset, you need to work on your character. You need to develop yourself. Okay, the other areas of your life are important. Your looks, the way you dress, your health, your fitness. Right. Once those boxes are ticked, then And the thing is, if you can, and the interesting thing about it too is if you can tick those boxes, just as a result, your character is going to develop. Just by you ticking all those boxes, that is a process of growth and development that has to happen in order for you to acquire those things. And it's similar to like business. When you get into business, like you have to grow as a person. Personal growth and business growth go hand in hand. So as you're growing as a person, you're putting this pressure on yourself because of a business, or say you compete in a high level sport. You have to elevate yourself to a certain level in order to compete at the top level. That's going to create a form of personal development that has to happen in order for you to grow. And when you do that, when you expose yourself to these things, it does develop you as a person. It matures you. And that's really what a woman's looking for. They're looking for maturity, because women are actually more mature than men in most cases. Not always, but in most cases, women mature faster than men. And most women I talk to will speak to guys who are older than myself and will tell me, yeah, like, you're light years ahead. You know, you're way more mature. And maturity comes from experiences. It comes from suffering. It comes from struggle. It comes from putting yourself in uncomfortable situations. And just something as simple as semen retention, mastering yourself, mastering self-discipline is probably the number one thing that's catalyzed my growth as a person and led me to be the person I am now. And I think that's the same for you. I think any man out there who's watching this video, that's the foundation, you know, semen retention, no fat, quitting porn, quit masturbation, and having that self-control, like actually having self-control. And that will mold you as a person. It's not just like the weak benefit of a little testosterone boost. I'm talking about a much, much deeper and profound kind of change in your character when you do semen retention for a long time. I've done it for years. I'm a year in currently. Before my relationship, I was like 2 years deep, and it does something to you. It really does change. It allows you to overcome your lustful and fleshly desires, and it allows you to actually be the best version of yourself. It allows you to tap into the highest version of yourself, and it allows you to accelerate in other aspects of your life. It allows you to accelerate in your fitness, your learning, your business, your relationships. It allows you to come across and have a different kind of energy and a different kind of aura and a different kind of presence that other men don't have. Like, it's simple as that. If you simply just do semen retention and no fat, you've already set yourself apart from pretty much 95% of men. You are better than them. And I think as well, another thing when it comes to dating and girls is like, guys, what's the rush? Like, what the hell is the rush? You know, like, the way I see it is you just got to marry one. You just got to find one and marry them. So why are you rushing to do that? You know, it's an important decision. You should be screening, you should be vetting, and you should be working on yourself in the process. You should be making yourself a man who's worthy of being with. You know, if it's no different to marketing and business. You know, you're trying to sell yourself to a woman, right? But the product is terrible. So yeah, you need loads of marketing, you need loads of strategies, you need loads of singing and dancing and tactics. But when you actually work on yourself and you become an incredible product, an absolutely brilliant product that's one of a kind, it will sell itself. You won't even have to do anything. You just simply have to present the product, and they'll be like, damn, this is some high quality stuff. Like, wow, I want a piece of that. And that's what you want to achieve through doing self-improvement, through mastering yourself, through, you know, working on yourself and becoming the best version of yourself. Like, that's ultimately what you're doing. You're creating the best product. So women actually become, they're not, you realize that it's not the be all and end all, and there's a higher purpose. And really a lot of what dating and women and is ego, is just gratification of the ego. It's how many girls can I sleep with? Can I prove I can get with the hottest girls? Can I sleep with this girl? It's just purely selfish gains. You know, you're doing it purely for yourself and your own gratification. And really what you want to do is, I believe, is get to a point as a man where you're looking for a woman that you can be selfless to, you know, that you want to actually serve her, you want to bring her into your life, and you want to make her, you know, make it the best relationship possible. But ultimately, guys, as I said, in order to gain that abundance mentality, you need to become the best version of yourself. You need to develop your character. When you do this, you're going to notice that women genuinely like you. Not every single one, that's just life. Not every girl's going to like you, but women actually see you worthy as someone to be with. And then once you've acquired that, you'll start to recognize that actually you don't just need to lock down the first girl you meet. You need to start screening them. You need to start courting them. You need to start vetting them and seeing, okay, does she have this trait? Does she have that trait? And if she doesn't, you need to have somewhat a level of kind of a ruthlessness to say, okay, well, she's not going to be my wife. You know, she's not going to be the one I'm going to marry. And that's ultimately the game. And that's where the abundance mentality comes from. And it's not this case of having a rotation of women, it's just knowing that there is another bus coming. You can say no to that one girl because she doesn't quite fit who you want her to be, and knowing that there will, although you can't see her, or although she's not here right now, she's out there. Like, you will come across her. Like, it will happen. And it's just putting your trust into that. And that's what I believe a true abundance mindset is when it comes to women. And when you actually develop that and you have that, you're going to be far more relaxed, you're going to be far more chilled out, and you're just going to naturally come across your best self on the date. So hope this video was valuable. I hope there was some cool insights. Let me know what else you want to see. Catch you next video, guys. Peace.